Parker, let's flip it over to basketball because this has been the talk of the sports world today, and I had to go back and rewatch it like 20 different times, and I still don't know what to make of it. One of the craziest finishes you'll probably ever see. Aggies hold on for the 90-88 win there. I mean, what did you make of the situation? Do you think that the buzzer beater should have counted, and what was your full-on takeaway?
Well, it was funny because our show end of the game. I wasn't watching until like the final minute because we were wrapping up stuff over here, and then I look back up and it was that situation where they were up 2 and then Pop Isaac's at the free throw line and he can ice it, but then he misses 2 of them, and then they called the dead ball because it didn't hit the front of the rim, and then they ruled that it did hit the front of the rim, but it's still a dead ball, so they still get a shot. I mean, it was just all over the place. And our sports department here, it's just 2 people, but us 2 are the only 2 left in the newsroom, and we're just, that shot goes in, and we said, "Oh!" And then they wave it off, and we said, "Oh!" So I think everybody was stunned. I don't know that whether it's Auburn fans or Texas A&M fans, I don't think anybody could definitively say whether that was still in his fingertips when the buzzer sounded. And I watched it, like you said, Patrick. Look, I watched it. We all watched it like 20 times. I really don't know that, especially when they called it on the floor. I think that's what did it for me. I didn't know that there was really anything like indisputable to say.
Correct.
Yeah, it was still in his hands.
Right.
And I think that's where, from my perspective, I think it probably should have stood. Texas A&M fans probably not super happy to hear me say that, but just coming from an objective standpoint, yes. I think that's how you have to call it. And props to those referees in a hostile environment like that to make that call, knowing you have to rush off the court like that. And then I don't know if you guys saw what Bucky McMillan said after, but they posted a social media video saying, "Get to Reed Arena, don't be a millisecond late, because if you're a millisecond late, it doesn't count." Kind of a shot at Auburn fans on social media. So I don't know. Big win for the Aggies. I think that sums it about up.
So here's my honest opinion on the whole situation. If it's so close like that, I know tie goes to the runner in baseball. Like that's not a real thing. That's a made up thing. But if I'm thinking about it, 35-foot heave for the win.
Right.
You almost deserve the win like that. I don't even care if
a guy not known for doing
yes, exactly.
So
that's just my opinion. I know nobody cares what I have to think or anything like that. I have no skin in the game. But it's just like, if you get beat by a guy who isn't known for shooting 3-pointers, heaves one up and makes it. I mean, that's what college sports is all about.
Absolutely. No, you're right, and I agree with you. And I think to Parker's point, the fact that they did it on the road, you would think, given the nature of everything, let's just say that it is a bang play in Auburn with a guy that doesn't normally do that, with a situation like that, you would just think, well, the referees will just give it to him and then let the basketball world just discuss the rest of it. I'm right there with you on all of that. Everybody is talking about the end of this game, but in the second half, at one point, this Texas A&M team was down by 15 points. And credit to Bucky Ball, and Stephen Pearl said this, they can make a lead evaporate like that. What have you made? We've done this. I think collectively, Patrick, you and I have done this to Bucky Ball. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not
we
sure.
Don't know.
Right.
Well, and I feel like yesterday was a step in the direction
Similar vibe in College Station.
Yeah, exactly. I think yesterday was a step in the right direction of finding what this style of play can be in the SEC. What have you made from it so far through 15 games?
Well, and beating LSU, too, by 3 points at Reed Arena to start SEC play. I think the start is as good as you could ask for Bucky McMillan's squad, and especially with the way Buzz Williams has fared out in Maryland, I think Texas A&M fans would be pretty stoked with the start to the season that they've had under Bucky Ball. Obviously, they maybe want some wins that aren't as close. I think that's a little nerve-wracking from any college basketball viewer standpoint. But they showed a lot of that grit, a lot of that fight, and they went on that run. I think it was an 8-point swing with 3 straight turnovers from Auburn, with Auburn having to call a timeout when they were down by double digits. I think that really kind of lit the flame of buckyball. And as you know, once buckyball gets going, it's hard to stop that train.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what did it for them. And then to have Pop Isaacs off the bench, 21 points. I mean, that really was huge. Despite him missing the free throws at the end, I think he had a solid game, and they're going to need contributions like that from everybody if this team is going to go through SEC play and be a contender.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of silly to ask if this is sustainable because we've seen buckyball. I've seen it personally when he was coaching here in high school college basketball.
I think we're just going to have to wait and see when they play
we're still here.
one. I think we're here right now. We're just kind of waiting. It's a wait and see kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it could go either way, but it is very volatile the way that they play, because if they're off, they could lose to a middle tier team in the SEC. I think but to beat one of those teams, like in years past, they've had Wade Taylor or Tyrese Radford,
right,
or all these players that made Manny Obaseki, like players that made the difference down the stretch in those games against top tier opponents. I don't know that they really have that guy this year. It's mainly just a bunch of guys that can get it done. And with Mackenzie Mbako going down for the entire season or for extended time, like I just don't know that. But maybe they could prove me wrong. I don't know. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. And, and let buckyball ride.
Exactly. Some entertaining basketball throughout, though, so far for this basketball team, and a lot of interesting stuff to cover, both on the basketball court and on the gridiron. I know you got a busy afternoon. Get to your important interview, get to the rest of your work. Thank you so much for your time here on Southeast Sports Plus.
Sounds good. Good to be back with you guys.